Mitigating evidence.
Morning.
Hello. Got a jacket on.
I said exactly the same.
Thanks very much. After that reaction, I have to come smarter every week.
Who is your tailor?
Yeah.
Good to see you, mate.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you running, Mark? Yes. Can we ask you first, Mark? You may notice the corporate thing going on here about the Ryder Cup.
Right here.
Do you watch it? Are you interested in
Oh
it?
yeah, goodness me! I think everybody will be tuning in. It's a fantastic event. I think most people who are involved in football have an interest in golf, playing it or just watching it. So this weekend is one of the key events in not just in the golfing world, but I think in the sporting world, because it's I think everybody involved in sport, and even people who aren't, always look to the Ryder Cup. The fact that it's not every year, it's the format of it just lends itself to drama and emotion. So I think everybody's looking forward to it.
Thanks for that.
Mm-hmm.
The other question that's not directly related to you is about the Telegraph's investigation,
Mm-hmm.
leading to a lot of recriminations about football generally.
Mm.
What do you make of it? Is football rotten to the core, which seems to be the implication?
Well, clearly there's a worry that that's a perception that will be taken by a lot of people, and I think if there is evidence that certain individuals have been involved in things they shouldn't have been, then I think it's important that those guys are named, because if they're not, then it's everybody else is guilty by association, just by virtue of being a manager or a coach or involved in football. So if there is any wrongdoing, then clearly those people have to be named, and then everybody else obviously is seen in the correct light. At the moment there's a lot of debate on who's involved, who isn't, so that needs to be clarified, I think.
You've been in football a long time as a player and a manager. Have you seen it? Have you been on
No.
thumbs? Have you been?
I never have. I have to say, in all honesty, I never have. So it's in all walks of life, not just football. I think there's temptation, and sometimes if temptation is put in front of certain individuals, then maybe they make wrong decisions. So I think it's not solely a football problem. I think it's in all walks of life. There's corruption and things that shouldn't happen. So to put it just at football's door, I think is wrong. But clearly there's an issue there, or seems to be an issue. So it needs resolving quickly for everybody.
Yeah, thanks for that. Football. We could see the look on your face as that equaliser went in injury time. Another game you dominated
Mm-hmm.
and didn't get the 3 points that you perhaps should have.
Yeah, but we were encouraged by our performances. The last two games against Hull and West Brom, didn't win both games because we made mistakes, but the performance levels were good, and I think that was shaped by the fact that we weren't chasing games. I mean, in almost all the other games we've been trying to get back on level terms or trying to close a deficit in games, and that shapes how you play and how you go about your business. When you're on level terms or you're in win positions like we were in the two games, then you can shape the game and you can dictate to the opposition, whereas we've been involved in games where we've been chasing and the opposition have the comfort of being in front and then hitting us on the break. I think our performances last two games have been more measured as a consequence of being in a good position in the game, and then you can shape your performance as the 90 minutes evolves. But for too many games, clearly we've been playing catch up, and that's made it difficult for us to have the control that we want in games.
You're not bottom of the table anymore. That point is taken. Psychologically, does that make a difference, or do you need that first win for the players to actually change their?
Ideally, we want the win. we think it's only a matter of time before it comes because, like I said, we're not playing badly. The last 2 games, I've seen a confident team, a team that wants to address the situation and get the maximum points in games. So it's not as if our confidence has been infected and that's affecting our performance. I think we're fine in that regard, but clearly we want to get 3 points on the board as quickly as possible. It's going to be difficult this weekend because clearly our record at Manchester United isn't great. I don't think we've even picked up a point in 40 odd years, so it's a big ask, but if we're going to get a first win on the board, why can't it be at Old Trafford?
With that in mind, of course, you go into the international break after this one as well.
Mm-hmm.
For the mood around the place, the psychology of it, important to get a result in that sense, isn't it?
Oh yeah, going into international breaks, you've heard me say it time and time again, but ideally you want to go in there in good heart and in a positive frame of mind, because if you're on the back of a good result and a good performance, then the guys go off in a good frame of mind for 10 days, 12 days, whatever it is. But obviously if you have a negative result, then it's more difficult because clearly there'll be issues in the game that you ideally would like to address there and then, but everybody's flying all over the world and you don't get them back for a good 10 days. So that's the difficulty of it. But no, it's we're in a decent enough place in terms of where we are confidence-wise. So we're encouraged by the last 2 performances. We know we're not too far away from getting back to the level that we know we're capable of. So there's no concern here.
Marko Arnautowic's 100th appearance, if you pick it.
Is it right?
Okay. At Old Trafford.
Mm-hmm.
What value has he brought to this team and this squad and this football club from the time of doing it?
Well, it was a big moment when we were able to get Marko to re-sign. I think that give notice of our intent in terms of what we want to do moving forward. And Marko's a big part of that. He's been really with me since I've come to the club. He was one of my first signings, and I have to say for the majority of his time here, he's been excellent, and he's growing. He's got more stature within the group now, so I think he enjoys that part of it. He's a senior player and wants to take more of a leadership role, I'm sure, moving forward. So he's growing with us as we grow with him.
Is it special for you going back to Old Trafford? What sort of reception do you get when you walk out there?
Well,
positive, isn't it, in fairness?
Yeah, a big part of my footballing life was spent at Old Trafford, and I got fantastic memories. I mean, those memories can never be taken away from me. I was part of some good teams there that won trophies, and those memories are still strong, albeit it's a good number of years since I played this game for 20 odd years, I think. So it's sometimes you wonder where the time goes, but no, I have a great reception. There's still people there that were there during my time, so it's always nice to catch up.
Is Old Trafford as daunting a place to go to now as it was when you were a player there then?
Yeah, you'd have to say so. I think maybe. Listen, I played in a winning Manchester United side, a team that was challenging for titles year on year, and that team, from personal experience, had the mindset that we expected to win every game. Whether or not this United side has that same mindset, I'm not sure. They have the potential to get to that point where they feel they have the capability of winning every game. Maybe they haven't displayed that as yet, but certainly you look at the talent that they have at their disposal, and the amount of money that they've spent this year as well to maybe address some of the failings of last year. So they're having a go. They don't want to have a season like they had last year, and you can see the intent in their play. Maybe obviously change the manager, and he'll have an impact for them clearly. So it's maybe a little bit of a transition period that they're going through. Arguably, it's taken longer than they probably had hoped, but this year you sense that there'll be a marked improvement on where they have been.
I want to ask you too as well about 2 Manchester United strikers. one of whom isn't playing as a striker quite at the moment, I don't think. Wayne Rooney and Ibrahimovic, as a former Man United number 9 yourself, what do you make of them and the attributes they've got? And also about Wayne Rooney's debate about his positioning, whether he's actually going to play against you on Saturday.
Well, there always seems to be a debate about Wayne and where he's playing and his value to the team. I mean, clearly he's a senior player there. He's the captain, and his influence on the group is huge, I would imagine. So the key is levels of form, I would think. Obviously, on occasion, some players will lose form, and Wayne isn't immune to that. But when he's at the top of his game, then clearly his influence on the pitch is going to be great, as it clearly is off the field, because he's a senior figure there, someone who understands the demand of Manchester United as a club and what demands that places on a player, and he can impart that knowledge to new players when they arrive, and I'm sure he does that as part of his role as captain of the club. Clearly, new players come to the club, the likes of Ibrahimovic. He doesn't look like he needs too much help. He seems to know exactly what he's doing on the football field. So I've been really impressed with his impact on the group. So looking forward to seeing him up close and seeing how we deal with him, because it's going to be a big test for us.
Maybe struggling?
No, Joe Allen was just a little bit tight in his hamstrings after the game. We're hoping that that's not significant. He hasn't trained since, really. So we'll check on him today just to make sure he'll be okay. But that was the only doubt, really, from the weekend. Yeah, Shaq's fine. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mark, you mentioned the record at Old Trafford. Does that have an impact?
Well, records there to be broken. It's an old cliche, but they're there to be removed, and we've been able to tick a few boxes in my time here in terms of beating United here, beating Chelsea, getting a point at Chelsea last year, which had been a long time coming. So we've done it in the past, and there's another opportunity to tick a box that we haven't been able to tick in the past. So we'll give it a good shot. I mean, we won't use the fact that our record at Old Trafford, we won't use that as an excuse saying, well, we shouldn't be expected to win. That's not our attitude to what's ahead of us. But clearly it's a big test. But I don't think leading into the game we'll be thinking too much individually or collectively that our record is poor. I think we'll take the game on its own merits. Excuse me. It's still early days. He'll have an impact, clearly, because he's one of the top managers in the world. So it takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. He'll have a view in terms of how he wants the team set up and what players can best serve him in the roles that he wants from his players. So it's not going to happen overnight. It's only, what are we, six games in? So it's still very early for him. I'm not for one moment suggesting that Wayne's coming to the end of his career, but I think all players adapt. I think there's good examples at Manchester United in recent times. Ryan Giggs, who burst on the scene as a flying winger with unbelievable pace. As he got older, his role changed and the way he played changed. And the key is that good players can do that. And clearly Wayne's an outstanding player, has been for a long time, and he'll have the ability to do that and change and adapt and still be an effective player for them. Excuse me.
You've also got fond memories of being at United. Is there one particular memory that you cherish more than most?
No, not really. I was very fortunate. As I said, I won trophies there, and every trophy you win as a player is significant, and the memories that those moments generate will always be strong. So no one individual memory. I think collectively, I think being part of the United team that won the league title, the first Premiership title after so many years, I think that one resonates with me and a lot of other people. I think that team is probably remembered quite fondly by lots of Man United fans. So probably being part of that team was something I look back on fondly.
Mourinho's been quite critical of the fixture list and his European matches and then the teams that they have to play in the order they have to play them. He said last night that Stoke is another poison gift because Stoke is a good team and you've got a good manager and they're not where the table suggests. And he said the match at the weekend was going to be very difficult because you are such a good team. Is that nice to hear about your team, even though maybe you haven't got the points on the board that you'd like this season so far?
Yeah, I mean, we don't rest on our laurels. We don't think that it would definitely happen without effort and acknowledgement of the fact that we haven't won as many games as we want. We fully believe, and I think most people on the outside looking in feel that we're a good side that are in a false position in terms of the ability within the group. Clearly, our performances up to this point. I mean, we're in a genuine position because we haven't been able to get the points that we wanted. But I think people see the talent that we have, and the last two performances, as I said, I think it was more like what we expect, and I think people have seen that and know that it's only a matter of time, including opposition managers.
Mark, with Shaqiri and
Excuse me.
you all right?
Yeah, got a frog. Go on.
Mark, with Shaqiri and Johnson going back now to such good games on Saturday.
Yep.
Do you feel you're out of the woods when it comes to long-term injuries?
Well, you hope so. You hope to have a little bit of luck and a runner free from key personnel having significant injuries, because that's hurt us certainly last year. It seems to have done a little bit this year as well. So yeah, we're clearing the decks in terms of getting most of the guys fit and able to take part. We've only got maybe two or three: Stevie Ireland, Afellay, Jack. Really, those are the ones that spring to mind. They're the only ones really missing. So we're hopeful. We're hopeful. You can never tell, but we're hopeful now. We may well get a fair run in terms of being clear of injuries, and that's important because you have to have continuity if you're going to have a good season, and that's what we've lacked maybe certainly in the opening few weeks of the season. But I'm confident that if we have that run of luck in terms of injuries, then performances and our season will build as a consequence.
Mark, will Jack be back after the international break? How long do you think it might be?
No, I think when he had the operation, the view was it was going to be something like 6 to 10. I think he's probably about 3 weeks in now, so it would be a minimum at least another month, I would think. But once those 4 weeks are over, then it could be another week, it could be slightly early, but my feeling is it'd be at least another 4 weeks, if not more.
Thanks, folks.
Okay.
Thanks, Mark.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.